Good evening, everyone. Okay, guys, so just let me know if my screen is visible or not. Let me share the screen. Okay, yeah, okay. So today we are going to cover, yeah. So today we are going to cover some crucial topics, right? Some more data types in Python. Okay, one of that is tuple, and the other one will be dictionary, right? So let's first come back to our basics. So we have seen that how Python, how Python organizes its memory and how Python allocates its variables, right? So we have a lookup table and we have a particular memory to store the value, right? Suppose I have a string, right? Suppose I have a string and this string has some value, right? If, okay, just let me take an example. Start with, suppose I have a string and the values of the string are as. See, I want to make this A. I want to change this A, right? Only this particular A. So the index for this A will be 1, right? So suppose I want to change that index 1 to some other value like to capital A. Okay, and let's print string 1. Yeah, yeah. See, so we are getting an error. It is asking for string objects does not support item assignment, right? First of all, let's see if I have an integer 12, right? And again, inside the same variable, I want to store integer 20, then it is perfect, right? It doesn't provide, give you any error, right? We get the value 20. How it happens? So you have a variable A, okay, you have a box of 10, you have a particular box which store 110 or whatever you have. Then if you want to assign a new value to that A, you will get a new box with your new value, right? It's not in full screen or what? I think it's in full screen. Okay. So what happens that earlier your A is pointing to this one, right? In this case, your A is pointing to 12. The value of A is 12. What we are doing? We are deleting this one and we are assigning A to 2, right? Now, if you will observe that before assignment, before reassignment, if I will print the ID of A and after changing the value, if I will print the ID of B, so A again, see what we will get. We have two different memory locations. It will confirm that the memory block of 1 is different and the memory block of 2 is different. Both are two different memory locations, right? Now, what I want to conclude that, see, you cannot change a particular value in a string or in an integer. String, integer, tuples, those are immutable data types in Python. You cannot change their values. See, I cannot change this 12 value, right? I am reassigning the value. See, both memory locations are different. So I cannot change this 12 value. I am reassigning the value, right? Both are two different, uh, what you can say, both are two different things, right? I am not changing the value, I am reassigning the value, right? Similarly, see, it will be a very clear example. I want to change the value. This her string is our value. I want to change this particular A value to a capital one, right? And we are getting an error. string item does not support item assignment, right? Why? Because strings, integer and tuples, those are immutable in nature, right? Now what happen if I will do, let's comment out this. Let's print the id of string 1. Now suppose I want to reassign the value of string 1 to capital letters, right? If again I will print the values and the id, in this time we will get two different memory locations. See, memory location of string 1 at first is different, and again after reassignment the memory location of string 1 is different, right? What we conclude from this is that for string 1 there are two memory boxes, right? At first your string 1 is pointing to this memory location, this particular value, with small characters like lowercase characters. We are deleting this value and we are creating a new memory location, right? So okay, just carefully listen to the statement that reassignment is allowed, right? But we cannot update or change or modify the value of a string, right? What is this? This is a completely new string. These both strings are not related, both are completely new string. So that's why the conclusion is that strings, integer and tuples are immutable in nature, right? Okay, now let's talk about tuples. I think we have methods of tuples here also. We have methods here. Okay, yeah. So how to create a tuple similar to list? We have two, three different methods. First of all, this will create an empty tuple for you. This will create an empty tuple for you. Let's print the type of tuple 2. See what we will get. We'll get a tuple, right? A type of 1, it will be a tuple. Okay. So this is how you will create a tuple. Okay. Now how to provide values inside a tuple. So suppose I have tuple 1 with values like this, right? Print tuple 1. This will print the tuple. Similar to list, tuples also supports indexing. Okay, it will give me 1. Other than that, tuples can also contain nested values. Suppose inside a tuple you have another tuple, right? Inside a tuple you have a list. Now see guys, tuple 1, it will print the particular value. See, as I've told you that tuples are immutable in nature. If I want to assign some new values to this index 1, instead of 1, I want 100 there, right? See what we will get. We will get an error. Tuple objects does not support item assignment, right? Why? Because tuples are immutable in nature, right? Now, we have a length function also for tuple. Actually, length function is for every container, every data types which are iterable in nature. Iterable means either they support indexing or they support key iterations, right? For example, that if you want to get the, suppose I will write print length of, I want to get the length of a particular string. I want to get the length of this hello. Then I will get the length of that hello. That will be 5, right? Okay. See, if I will print tuple 1 n minus 1, what we will get? We will get this particular last list, right? See, this is at our index number n minus 1. Okay. Now see guys, tuple is immutable in nature. We cannot change this 1, we cannot change this 2, but we can change this list, right? Lists are not immutable. You can change the values inside a list. We have seen that. So suppose I want to change the value. See, this indexing is to access our list. After that, I want to append a value inside that list. 5,500. I want to append 600 inside that. Let's print tuple 1. See what we will get. The value is updated. Okay. So let's go back to the particular memory mapping which we have seen in list during list, right? So what is tuple? Nothing but a continuous memory location, a very big block of memory, right? At some blocks there are values are stored, right? Now inside that nested list, nested tuple, we have a list, right? Inside that nested tuple we have a list, and inside this list we have some elements. Okay, and the memory location of this list is stored here inside tuple. This is how particularly a list stores memory values. We have seen this on in yesterday's class, right? So this is your tuple, and your tuple is storing a list in the last index. This is our tuple, and our tuple is storing the list in the last index. Okay, so what we are doing, we are changing the values of this list, which is fine, which is allowed, right? We are not changing any value of the tuple. This tuple, the last index of tuple, is still holding a list. We are changing the values of a list, not changing the value of a tuple. Okay, so that's why we won't get any error, right? But suppose I want to change the value of a tuple, see, n minus 1. This particular index in our tuple, it is holding a list. I want to delete this whole list. I want to delete this list. Okay, and I want to create some other value there, right? So now this time what we are trying to do? This time we are trying to update a tuple, right? This time we are trying to update a tuple. Suppose instead of list I want to assign 12 there, right? Instead of this list, what I am trying to do, I am trying to delete that list from there and trying to assign some integer value there, right? We will get an error. Why? Because this time we are trying to modify a tuple, not a list or anything like that. We are directly trying to modify a tuple. Okay, I think it's pretty clear now. Okay, so as you know that tuple is immutable in nature, so there are no such fancy methods in tuple to add some elements or to remove some elements, because once a tuple is created you cannot modify that tuple. Once this tuple 1 is created with value 1 2 3 4, you cannot modify any single value inside this tuple, right? Okay, there are a few methods. For example, if you want to copy the tuple, we have tp1.copy, right? Copy will work. Other than copy, in case of tuple 1, what we have nested lists, we have nested tuples, right? So instead of copy we have to use deep copy. For that, let's import from copy to copy. Okay, now if I will print tuple 2 and I will print the id of tuple 1, tuple 2 c. In this case, we have two different memory locations. It means tuple 1 and tuple 2 are two different tuples, right? That is the use of deep copy we have seen earlier, right? Now, uh, same thing you can achieve with copy if you don't have any nested elements inside your tuple, right? We have also seen those conditions. Okay. See, concatenation in tuples, right? Suppose you have a tuple 1 with values 1 to 3. I have a tuple 2 with values 5, 6, 7, right? You can create a tuple 3 with values of tuple 1 combined with values of tuple 2, right? It is allowed, no problem with that. Print tuple 3, right? Okay. There is no other such fancy element functions in tuples. Some are allowed are here, right? Copy, deep copy, concatenation. One more you can use. We have count. So you cannot remove or add any element, because suppose you want to remove this 6, this 5 from this tuple 3. What we are trying to do, we are trying to modify a tuple, that is not allowed, right? If you want to insert some element inside this tuple, what we are trying to do, we are trying to modify a tuple, which is not allowed. Okay. Okay. So these are tuples. Now if tuples are immutable, and suppose there is one tuple to store your marks, right? Marks of a student. So we have a tuple and we have marks, and instead of 86 someone entered 68, right? Instead of 86 someone by mistake entered 68. Now we have to modify this 68, right? We have to correct our mistake. For that, what we do, we will convert this tuple to a list. We will convert this tuple to a list like this: 198, 97 and 68. So how to achieve this? How to convert a tuple to a list? See, in Python, to perform conversions, just type the uh, data name, the variable name. Okay, inside we have marks. Sorry, marks. See what is the type of marks list and what were the values. See, marks list is of type list and we have the exact values of a tuple, right? So this is how you will convert a tuple to a list. Okay. Now, where was the mistake? At our last index, right? So what we will do, marks list, to access last index, either you will use negative indexing or positive indexing, depends on you. Okay. We have to provide 86, which is fine, which is allowed in list. You can change the values of elements in list, no problem with that. Let's print. What is in, yeah, marks list. See, the values are rectified. Now what we will do, we will again convert this list to tuple, right? This modified list to our tuple. And now if you will print the tuple, what we will get, we have the correct values, right? Let me print this from here. Yeah. So try to observe the pattern. If you want to modify any particular tuple, convert that tuple to list, work with your list, modify whatever value you want, convert that list back to a tuple, right? Now, this marks tuple and this marks tuple, both are two different tuples, right? If you will print the ID, if you will print the ID, you will observe that both are two different tuples, right? Because you cannot change the value of a tuple in place, right? So that's why both are two different tuples, two new tuples. Okay, but we have a correct value there, right? So this is how you will interact with tuple. Okay. Okay. There are many methods, I mean many more conversions are out there. For example, you have a float of value 2.3 and you want to convert this float to int, right? See what we will get. Let me first print this one, print b. We will get 2, right? 2.3 will be converted to an integer, the decimal values were deleted, right? We will get only the integer part. Okay, now suppose you have some integer value of 3 and you want to convert that integer value to float. Okay, and let's print this d. We have 3.0. This is a float value, floating point, right? Okay, other than that, suppose you have a string of only integers, right? This string is only of numerical characters, not alphabetic characters, or no special character is there, right? To convert this to a particular integer type, just pass the value, see what we will get. See, we got the particular our integer, right? This e is of type integer. This e is of type integer only. See, it is of type integer, right? Now take care of the condition that your string should only contain numerical characters, not special characters. If I will provide a space here, see, again we will get the value, but if I will provide a capital A, we will get an error, right? Because you cannot convert A to some particular integer value, right? Okay. If I will provide a space in between, then again you will get an error, right? So no special characters. Now, if you have observed that when I provide space at the beginning or if I will provide space at the end, we won't get any error, right? So there are some special scenarios, we will look into it. But first of all, be clear that inside your string there it should contain only numerical characters, right? To be converted to an integer, or you can also convert it to a float, right? No problem with that. There is one more, that is, we have integer type, right? Okay. See, I want to convert it to list, right? You can convert char1 to list. See, each and every character is treated as a single list element, right? Suppose I have char2 as, see, each and every, see, even space, each and every single character is treated as a single element for the list. Okay, you can convert it to a tuple. Okay, no problem with that, right? So these are conversions. So let's talk about how to take user input in Python, right? How to get user inputs in Python. Suppose I want you to write a program to add two numbers A and B. Suppose the value of A is 10, the value is B is 20, right? Print A plus B. Okay, what we will get? We will get 30 as our answer, right? But I want you to take inputs from the user. I want to give you the input, right? The user wants to give you the input. So what you will do, this is the syntax to take input from user side, right? See, the cursor stops there. It wants me to enter some input, right? I want to provide 10, then after that I want to provide 20. See, carefully observe the output. Okay, it is not 30, it's 1020, 1020 is there. Okay, now see, without showing any message, the cursor is stopped there. It's asking me to provide inputs, right? It is not a good practice. Okay, so for providing messages, you can provide strings inside it, like insert value of A. Similarly, insert value of B, right? See, it is asking me for the value of A, that will be 12. Asking me for the value of B, that will be 13, right? Now, we will talk about why we are, instead of getting 25, why we are getting these strange values, right? Okay, so first let me format it. Yeah. Now, guys, see, type A. See, I am providing the value of A as 12, providing the value of B as 13. But see, what I am trying to print here, the type of A. And what is the type of A it is storing? The type of A is a string, right? It is not an integer, it is a string. If you will print the type of B, the type of B will be again a string. Then what is this 12 and 13? This is nothing but string concatenation, right? If I have a string, if I have a string of 12 and if I have a string of 13 and I will try to print string 1 plus string 2, what it will print? It will print the concatenated string. Okay, merge both the strings and print it there, right? So we are providing an integer value, but Python is taking it as a string, right? So always remember, anything provided as an input in Python using this particular input function, using this particular syntax, input syntax, anything provided in Python using input syntax is always taken as a string, right? So in this case, what we have to do? Now we have to convert A to an integer and we have to convert B to an integer. Okay, now we will get the correct answer. See, 12, 13, we are getting 25, and right now A is considered as an integer. I mean, the data type of A is integer, right? We can perform the same thing in Jupyter Notebook, but I don't like the UI of Jupyter Notebook very much for taking user inputs, right? So that's why. See, it is asking me to enter the input here. See, it's what it is writing, insert value of A. So for A, let's provide 10. It is asking me to insert the value of B, that will be 20. And here we are getting the value that will be 30, right? So this is how you will take user input in Python. Okay. Now, tuple user inputs. Now there is something which is known as flow control, right? Flow control. See what right now what happens that our code execute this first line. Okay, this first line is executed. It asks me for to enter a value of A. This second line is executed. Both these lines were executed, and after that, both these lines are executed. Suppose consider a scenario where you want to execute some certain lines of code based on a condition, right? Suppose I want you to print hello. Suppose I want you to print hello if A is double equal to 10, means if the value of A is 10, and I want you to print by if the value of B is 20, right? I want you to write this code. So to get a functionality of flow control, to check some values, to check some conditions, we use if else in Python, right? See, inside. So what will be the syntax? Let me put some. See, if no need for bracket, just pass the condition, your particular condition, then colon. Okay, then your code if the condition is true, right? So let's implement this. Now, after taking values in this a and b, what we are asking, we are checking if a is equal to 10. What we are doing, we are printing hello, right? Again, we are checking if b is equal to 20. What we are printing, we are printing by, right? Okay, there is one more thing, guys. This single equal to, this is known as assignment operator. It is only used to provide some values, not for checking some values, right? Not for a condition check. For a condition check, always use double equal to's. Okay, these are used to check the particular values that b is equal to 20 or not. For those type of condition, use double equal to. If you want to assign a value, right? If you want to assign a value something like this, assign 20 to b. In these type of conditions, use single equal to, right? Assignment operator. This double equal to is known as comparison operator, right? Equals. Single equal to is known as assignment operator. Okay. Okay. Let's take this condition from here, provide it down here, right? Execute this, asking me for the value of a, for the value of b. See, the value of a is 10, so we are getting hello. The value of b is 20, so we are getting bye, right? Suppose for a I will provide 11 and for b I will provide 20. In this case, we are not getting this hello, right? Why? Because the value of a is not 11. What it is doing, it is checking if the value of a is exactly 10 or not, right? So what we conclude that the code written inside if condition, right? The code written inside if condition is always executed if the condition is true. Okay, at first we got the condition true, that's why we are getting both hello and bye, but after that only one condition is true, so we are getting that. Okay, there is one more thing. If condition, right, code if condition is true, else code if condition is false. See guys, in this case, observe that. Okay, see, what I am trying to do is that check if a is double equal to 10, then print hello, or either print just a is 10, right? If a is any other value other than 10, then print a is not 10, right? Suppose I will provide 11, I will provide 12. Okay, let me compile this one. 11, 12. See, what we are getting, a is not 10, right? So what is this else? What this else will do? It will execute the code if the condition is false. If will execute the code if the condition is true, right? So what this if else block is doing, it is controlling the flow of your code, right? The flow of your code is purely dependent on your particular condition. Okay. Yeah. One more thing, suppose with a string, if you want to print a value, suppose instead of 10, if you want to print the particular value of a, use curly braces of a, right? And in front of string use f. we'll discuss about this syntax, right? But for right now, just understand, if you want to print the value, the particular value of a, right, use this type of syntax. Okay, the characters inside curly braces are treated as a variable. Okay, 12, 13, c. This time we are getting the value of a. Okay, okay, I think if else block is pretty clear now. Okay, we will talk about this uh, f, or you can say that formatted string, to how to print values in different forms. Okay, yeah. Okay, other block. Other than this if else, there is one another condition that is known as if. After that comes the else. Code if condition is false, code if condition is true. See what it is. Suppose I am using elif a is c. A is less than 10, right? So a is less than 10. Okay. And in else condition, print. Let me print the value of a. That will be a is. Let me give you the value of a. Okay, let me show you the condition, how these conditions actually work. Debugger. See, it is asking me for the value of a, right? It is asking me to enter the value of a. Okay. Our code is right now in line number 1. Okay, asking me to enter the value of a. Let me enter the value as 5, right? Asking me to enter the value of b, that will be 20, right? Okay. Yeah. After this, see, right now our code is at line number 11. The interpreter is right now standing at line number 11. What it will do, it will check the condition if a is double equal to 10 or not. So the condition, the value of a is 5, the value of b is 20. So this condition will be false. Okay. The condition, see, the condition is false. After checking the if condition, it will check the else if condition, right? So right now the value of a is 5. 5 is less than 10. That will be correct, right? It will execute the print statement and it will jump out of the code, right? This else statement is not executed. See, we got the value a is less than 10, which is printed here. Okay, let's again run it. Some values. Yeah, it is again asking me to insert the value of a. Suppose this time let's insert it as 10 only, right? Now, right now my code is at line number 11. The first condition it encounters is a is double equal to 10. It is checking for that the particular value is 10 or not. A is 10 or not. A is 10 this time, right? So what we will get? What we will get? A true condition. It will come inside if, it will print the value, then our code will end. So you can conclude from here that only one condition in a if else ladder, only a single one condition in a if else ladder is executed each and every time, right? This time with the value of 10, this particular one was executed. Let me run this one again. Okay. and let's provide the value of a as 20, right? See, first of all, it will check the condition is double equal to 10, that will be false. See, if the line number 11, the condition of if is false, it is not going inside line number 12, right? It is skipping that one. This is how if else condition controls control the flow of the interpreter, right? Now it is at line number 13, it will be again false. 20 is less than 10, we are checking a is less than 10, the value of a is 20, which is false. So we won't go to the line number 14, it will again jump, and it will directly jump inside the else. That will be line number 16, because there is no condition to check inside else, right? Okay, any condition, the all if all the conditions are false, then only the else will work, right? It will print the value of a is 20, that's it. I think right now the if else block will be pretty clear to everyone. If you guys are having any doubt in if else, then let me know. Otherwise, we will move forward to some new topic. Okay, okay, let's write a very simple code to check to print the largest number among A, B, and C. It is a very simple code, right? First of all, let's take the input from user, value of A. Now, why this int? So what I am doing, I am taking the input, and we have seen that command line input is always treated as a string. We will use integer to convert that string to int, right? This two-line thing is only written in a single line. That's it. Nothing new. Okay. Yeah. Do this. See, the first condition, if a is greater than, okay, we have to take three variables, right? Okay. So if a is greater than b, if a is greater than c, then only you can say that print largest number is the value of a. You have to provide f here. Okay. Else print, yeah. Okay, see, it is giving me error. Why? Because I have forgot the colon here. Okay, try to memorize this syntax. See, Python is all about indentation. If I will remove these spaces from front of it, it will give me an error. Okay, so always see, if I will provide a single space, that will be okay. But instead of a single space, use to provide tab, right? What this indentation will describe? It describes that this particular if condition is written inside this if condition. Okay, this is the parents if condition, nested one. This is the parent if condition. This if else block is written inside one if condition, right? Okay. Now I am writing this else. So by indentation, you can tell that this else is for this if, right? And this particular else is for this parent if, right? Okay. Inside this, let's check the condition if b is greater than c, then print b, otherwise Okay, let me execute this one with debugging. Yeah, condition check, print value, else value, condition check, print, else value, print. Hmm, yeah. Okay, so it is asking me for the value of A, right? Our first line of code that is asking me for the value of A. Let's provide A as 4. Okay. The value is again asking me for the value of B, that will be 6. It is again asking me for the value of C, that let's take it as 1, right? Now where we are at our first condition to check if A is greater than B or not. The value of A is 4, the value of B is 6. So A is not greater than B. So which one is the else condition of this if? This line number 12 else is the else condition of this if, right? So we will directly jump to that else. Inside this else, we got our first condition, B is greater than C or not. Value of C is 1, value of B is greater than C, right? We will go inside this if, and now print the largest number is B, and our programs ends, right? Guys, observe one more thing. See, I have provided this red dots are known as flag. Okay. So I have provided flag for else conditions also, right? In line number 12 and in line number 10. But when I run the debugger, see the flags at those else conditions were removed. Why? Because your interpreter doesn't waste its time to checking a else, because there are no condition inside a else. Okay, if all values are false, then this else will be executed. That is the simple logic behind executing an else, right? There is no condition to check, right? You have to only check condition for an if statement. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this thing, whatever I am doing right now, that debugging, that is very crucial if you are developing some code or syntax or anything, any project. What it will do, what is the use of that debugger, what it really do. So you have seen that it executes each line by line, right? Our interpreter execute everything line by line. So your debugger will track where is your interpreter is, which particular line your interpreter is reading, right? My interpreter is here, then it will come to this line, then it will come to this line, then it will come to this line, and so on. So your debugger will do the job of tracking the variable values and all those things. Okay. Yeah. So we have seen if else, right? So what are if else? So if else are known as flow control, right? You are controlling the flow. You are basically controlling the flow. Okay. Now, suppose I have, there is one more thing. Suppose you have a list of, okay, let me provide you this as our previous example. Suppose this is a my list, right? This my list is taken from our test.py file, right? We have seen this particular format. Okay. We have seen this particular format. There is no problem with this format. This is how we import things from library. Now, consider it as a very new variable. You have never seen this list, right? First of all, a very good practice is that, first of all, let's check the length of this list. Okay. So let's check the length of this list. Let me print the value of n. So the length of this list is 100. There are 100 elements inside this list. Okay. Now we can do either print my list right? So it will print all the 100 elements, right? But there is one more way. Suppose there is a requirement, right? Sorry, guys. Yeah. The requirement of your code, your requirement, your particular question is that you have to increase each value by 20, right? What I want to see here, I want to see 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, something like that, till whatever the last, I think the last element will be 99. Yeah, up till 99. I want to add 20 to each and every element inside the list. So suppose I have a small list. This is my small list. I want to add 20 to each element. What I will do? My list to index 0. What I want to do? I want to add value. Instead of 0, 1. Instead of 0, 2. Now if I will print my list 2, the values are incremented by 20, right? I want to perform the same operation but with my list, this my list. And there are 100 elements inside this list, right? We are not able to access each and every element with their index 1, 0, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this to up till 99. We can't do that. So what we will do, instead of working like this, we will use loops. Let me provide a marker here. Yeah. So there are basically three types of loop. First is for. The first loop will be for loop, the second loop will be while loop, and the third loop will be do while loop. Okay, we are going to only discuss about for loop, right? We will see the implementation of while loop in our further classes, right? We are not going to discuss about this do while loop, because you can say that this is a very rare loop. You can only see the implementation of this in some basic data structures and algorithms things, right? Only in some basic in some algorithms. It is not generally used in simple coding like this. Okay, yeah. So suppose, so this is the syntax of using a for loop, right? For any variable name, any particular variable name in keyword, right? And the particular iterable. Now let me show you what I mean. Suppose I have a string 1 as value as, right? If I will do for each character in str1, if I will print character, what it will print? See, this character will visit each and every single character in your string. Your string is treated as each and every single character, right? So this is how a for loop will work. First of all, your variable name. Second one is an iterable. Iterable means which supports indexing, some type of indexing, right? We have multiple options in the indexing. Instead of 0, 1, 2, 3 indexing, I mean 0 indexing, we have other types of indexing also. We will see when we will discuss about dictionary, right? But those are iterables. Iterables means you can, they support some type of indexing and all. So for loop works with all types of iterables. Now in place of this string, you can do for element, element, let's take, okay, item is a keyword in Python. Let's take element only. For element in my list, element. See, when I will execute this one, I have a very long line, like long output. Okay. Why? Because each and every value of that list is printed in different lines. right? So if you don't want to print all values in a different line, use and equal to double quotes. That's it. This is a particular, you can say a particular key in print function, right? Inside this print function, if you will provide end, what it will do, instead of single line, you will get your values printed with a space separated manner, right? Separated with space. Yeah. So this is how you can print the values. Okay. So what is our aim? We want to perform. We want to uh, update each and every value by 20, right? In our list, something like this we have achieved here. We want to perform the same thing. Okay. So in this case, what we will do, there is one more way to operate for loop, right? See, suppose you want to print all natural numbers starting from 0 to 50, right? So for that, what we will do, for number in, there is one new keyword, range, right? So see what it will do. You will print number, and I want them with space separated manner, right? Okay. See, it will print each and every number up till 50, starting from 0. So you can see that there is a new keyword, that is range, and inside range there is some value, right? So we have seen a list slicing. So range is somewhat, the syntax of range is somewhat similar to that. There is some start, the default value of start is 0. There is some end, right? You have to define end, right? This range function doesn't work if you won't define any end. I have provided only 51, right? This 51 is taken as the end. The start value is 0 only. See, the start value is 0 only, and the end value is 50, right? And there is something known as jump, that will be always taken as 1. So what this range will do, it will generate each and every number from starting to end minus 1, right? So that's why if I have provided 51, so we got 50 at the last because it is end minus 1. It started from 0 on 2. Suppose you want to start from a specific number, right? You want to start from with a specific value, from like I want to print from 15 till 15, right? So just provide 15. Sorry, it's not column separated, it's comma separated. Yeah, now it's good. See, it started from 15, it ends at 50. If you will provide some jump value, then it will jump from that, right? Jump by 3. That is what the jump value I have provided here. So this is how a range will work, right? Okay. Now focus on how we will use these range and for loop to access the element of a list. This is one way. Okay. Now this type of for loops are known as, there are different names, right? These type of iteration in for loops are known as for each loop, right? Okay. Now see, I want to access each and every element, right? So we will use this for each loop. One another way we have, by using this range, right? So for index in a range, from where we want to start, we want to start from 0, right? And we want to go up till what is the length of our list, the length we have calculated, right? This, that will be n. Okay, so we want to go up till n minus 1. We want to go up till end minus 1, right? So that's why we have to provide an end value, right? So always remember that this end is treated as end minus 1. Okay. Yeah. Now if I will do print my list index and end by comma. Yeah, let's provide a print here. Okay, see, we got all the values. Why I provided a print here? Because, okay, let me first remove this one. See, we got all the values here only in a single line. See, if I will show you, see, after 99, this loop will print from 0 to 99 our list values. After that 99, the again the printing will start from that line only. There is no line change because we have provided end is equal to space, right? To change the line, I have used this print, right? Now we have two different loops. Okay. Now see, this is how we will access the values. Okay. Now, right now, what we are trying to do, we are trying to update those values with 20. We want to add 20 to each and every value, right? We want to add 20 to each and every value. See, if you want to only print the list using for loop, there is no such advantage of printing a list using for loop because you can only print it using just a simple print statement, right? So, to achieve that, to update each value by 20, we use index plus equal to 20. Let me print the value of my list. See what we will get. Each and every value of your list is updated by 20, right? So this is how typical a for loop will work. This is how you can take inputs in Python. This is how a tuple works and how tuples are immutable in nature, right? So guys, if you are having any doubts till now, then please let me know. Otherwise, we will take a short break of 5 minutes only. Just let me know the doubts, okay? Yeah, okay. Let's continue then, guys. Okay, so we have seen all these, right? So, I got a question yesterday, right, about related to set the difference between list, a tuple, and a set. So I think many of you have observed the difference between a list and a tuple till now. Tuples are immutable in nature, and lists are mutable. There is one more thing I want to tell you about tuple is that, see, if you want to create a tuple, right? So let me put it here only. If you want to create a tuple of only single digit, only a single element, right? Be aware that this is not a tuple. A single element is not a tuple. It is treated as an integer. See, it will be treated as an integer, right? If you want to create tuple of a single element, always provide comma at the last, right? Right now it will be treated as a tuple. Be aware of these conditions, okay? Yeah. Okay, so mhm. And this tuple and set. So you have seen that lists are mutable, set are also mutable in nature, and tuples are immutable in nature. See, I have a list, okay, and inside this list I have, suppose, right? So you can see that there are repeated elements inside my list. Now I want to convert this list to a set, right? And inside this set, let me print my set. Yeah. So if I will print this my set, you can observe that each and every element of the set is a unique element. So this is the property of a set. Okay. It will take only one element as an input. It will ignore all the repeated element, right? Okay. One more thing, that suppose instead of putting this 5 here, if I will put this 5 in front of it, the first element will be 5. Then again, you can observe that your set is always in sorted order, right? So this is the property of a set. Each and every element in a set is always be a unique element. Set cannot hold, I mean, this is the property of the set, right? Set will always remove the duplicate elements, okay? All duplicate elements are treated as only one single element. Set is always stored in a uh, sorted format, okay? Inside your list, suppose you have strings also, repeated types of strings, okay? So these A these two A will be treated as a single A, both are single elements. This BA is another single string which will be treated as a single string. Now observe it very carefully. First, the numerical elements will be sorted, then only the strings will be sorted. Okay, stored in a sorted manner, right? How to add an element in a set? You can use dot add. There is no append for set, right? There is dot add. Okay, if you want to add, suppose I want to add hers, right? Okay, now I will print my set. See, we have a new variable, a new particular string is there, right? Okay, now there is, you can use length to get the length of the set. Not set, what is its name? My set, yeah. And it will, you will print the length, right? Okay, let's see if there is clear or not. So you can use clear to delete each and every element of a set, just similar to list. Okay, we have seen these in list, clear. You can use pop to delete the last element of the set. See, Oh, sorry, I have to print the values, right? My set, yeah. See what it has done? It has deleted this pop has deleted the value of a set. But observe it very carefully. It has deleted the first element, right? Only the first element of the set. Okay. And inside this pop, if I will provide an index, we have seen that in list we can provide index, right? So suppose if I will provide an index, suppose I provide index 3, 4 is that index 3, 5 is at index 3. Okay, let me print the set again. We will get an error here. Okay, now why this error? Why this particular error? Just right now, while discussing about for loop, I have told you that for loop or for each loop always work with an iterable, right? So here is an example. Set is an iterable. Set is an iterable, but set is a type of iterable which does not support. Set is a type of iterable which does not support indexing, right? If you want to print the zeroth index of a set, right? See, we will get an error here. Only here. See, at this line number 7, we are getting an error. Set object is not subscriptable. Set is iterable. You can iterate through set, but you cannot you cannot access set using indexing. Okay, so that's why you cannot provide an index inside your pop in set, but other functions work like this. The similar to list, there is also a copy and deep copy in set. Okay, and all things you can also use for loop, for each loop, for element in my set, and let's print those element. Okay, suppose let me give you a use case here. So these are the different functions. Suppose you have, okay, let me take a list here. Hmm, 10 will be enough. So suppose we have a variable named my list, not for from. Yeah. So we have a variable named my list in our test.py file. We have seen that, right? Okay. Suppose this my list is containing some type of uh, repeated elements, right? We don't know what are the elements inside this my list. This my list is containing some type of repeated elements. What is our job? We want create a list of unique elements from my list. Suppose if my list is looking like this, suppose these are the contents of my list, right? If these are the contents of my list, what I want only the unique elements like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are the unique elements. I only want these elements, right? This is our objective. Okay. So first of all, first thing, let's create a set and use set on my list. What this set will do, it will remove all the repeated elements, right? It will only take, what is this variable name? My list, right? Let me change the name of this variable. Let me give it capital L. This will work now. Okay guys, it's giving some error right now here because we have just imported this again and again, right? One time here, and we have also changed some elements there, right? Let's take a list by ourselves only. Let me take a list. Yeah, okay. Suppose this is our list, right? What I want, yeah. So what I want, see, what this will do, this set will do, it will create, it will only pick up the particular unique elements, right? But what is our objective? We want a list of unique elements. We don't want a set of unique elements, right? If you will print the type of this set, my set variable, you will get it as set, right? We want a list. So what we will do, suppose we will create first an answer list, right? Let's create an empty list. What we will do, we will iterate from my set, and what we will do, answer list dot append my set, not my set element, right? Let me print this answer list. See, now we have a list in our hand, right? Each and every element, each and every single element is picked from set and is inserted in our list, right? That is the use of append. Okay. What is the use of this for loop? This for loop will iterate through visit each and every single element one by one in our set, right? Other than this for loop, we have one very, you can say an easy example of easy way of doing is that you can just convert that to list. Typecasting. It is known as typecasting, right? Just do this. We have a list. That's it. No use of for loop. But it is a good way to practice, right? So use for loop only. It will help you to practice it, right? Yeah. So I think now you guys got the difference between the set, list, and tuple. List can contain any element, any type of element, any number of time, right? Repeated elements, string, list inside a list, and anything like that. Tuple will also contain anything like that, repeated elements, a list inside a tuple, nested tuples, or like that. But one unique thing about tuple is that tuples are your immutable in nature. Okay. Now come to set. What is the unique property about set is that set contains each and every elements unique number of times. It means only one time, right? It doesn't contain any repeated elements. Okay. It treats all repeated element as a single element. One another thing is about set is that it contains element in a sorted format. Okay, so that is the basic difference between set and lists. Okay, now we have one thing about that is known as dictionary. Okay, so just right now we have seen that set is an iterable type of data type, but it doesn't support indexing, right? Dictionary is the same one. It is also iterable, but it cannot support indexing. So what is the format of a dictionary? How a dictionary is saved? Before dictionary, let me tell you something about which is known as table, right? There is some concept which is known as has table. What is this table? It is a table, simple table divided into two columns, multiple rows. Okay, and inside these rows, there are values were mapped. For example, suppose you have a particular number. Suppose you have 12, right? And for this 12, you are assigning a value. Suppose for this 12, you are assigning a value, suppose A, right? You have a number 1. For this number, you are assigning a value, suppose L. We have 2. For this 2, you want to assign a value, suppose like, for example, B. And not only number, suppose you have a string, you have a particular string, that string will be, suppose that string is C, and for this C you want to assign a value. Suppose you want to, in this time let's take it as 3, you want to assign an integer value, right? Okay, so this particular column, this is known as key. Okay, key, these are known as key. And this particular second column, these are known as values. Now what is the meaning of this table? Each key each key is assigned with a value. That is the main motive to create this table. 2, so this B, value B is assigned to this key 2, right? Now dictionary in Python follows the same concept. How a dictionary stores a data? So dictionary stores a data in a key value pair, right? For example, this is a example of a dictionary. So for one, what we for the example for 12 we have, sorry, for 12 we have A. For one we have B. For C we have mapped C as 3, right? So this is a dictionary. Okay. So, if I will print the type of my dictionary, it will give me that as dictionary. Okay. If I will print the values, we got the values as dictionaries, right? See, as I have told you that dictionary does not support indexing, right? So what is this has table and how it is beneficiary, and what is this key value pairs are? So as it does not support indexing, if you want to access this A, right? If you want to access this A, you have to use 12 as an index. Consider keys as an index. Okay. In dictionary, consider key as index. Okay. For example, if I will print the value as my dictionary and inside this I will pass 12, right? So this 12 is treated as a key, as an index, a key value, right? And we will get the value assigned to that key. See, A is assigned to this 12, right? So we will get the value A. Okay. Now, if we will pass only 1, what is the value assigned to 1? That will be B, right? So this is how this particular table, this is how dictionary holds its values, like a hash table. These types of tables are known as hash table, right? Okay. And this is how your dictionary works in Python. It holds the values in a key value pair. Okay. Now, see, as there is no indexing, it does not support indexing. So what we will try to print, suppose we try to print at index 0. Suppose we are thinking like that this dictionary supports indexing, right? So we want to print this value at index 0. In this case, we will get an error, and the error will be key error, right? What is the meaning of this 0? The meaning of this 0 is that your dictionary is trying to access a particular element where the key is 0, suppose. Now in this case we won't get any error, right? Why? Because this 0 is referred to this key, this 0 is referred to this key, and the value 17 is printed there, right? Okay. Now, so there are many more methods related to dictionary, but first of all, let's discuss more about key. There are certain rules for key and certain rules for values. I mean, there are no rules for values. Anything can be a value, right? Any data type. As you have seen here that in this case a string is a key. In this case an integer is a sorry, in this case a string is a value, in this case an integer is a value, in this case also an integer is a value. Suppose I will create a tuple as a key and I will pass a boolean as a value. That is also allowed, no problem with that. Okay, so values can be of any data type, right? But there are restrictions in key. Okay, now what are the restrictions? So we have seen immutable, right? So keys are immutable in Python. You have to take care of that. So if I will create a list as a key, suppose this is a list as a key and I am assigning some, suppose some string value to that. Okay, so it is not showing me any error. Okay, just let me execute this. See, we are getting an error. And why this error? So unhashable type list. What it is trying to say that this list is not allowed as a key. Okay, because the property of a key is that key should be an immutable data type, immutable in nature. We have seen that integers are immutable in nature, strings are immutable in nature, a particular tuple is immutable in nature, but lists are mutable. So that's why list cannot be a key. You can do it the other way around. The string can be the key and your particular list can be a value. That's good. There is no problem with that, right? Because values are of any data type. But for key, always take care of the condition where key should be an immutable data type, right? Okay. Now let's move forward. So let's see how for loops work with dictionary. So for element in my dictionary, print element, and let's end with space. Yeah. See what it will. Wait. Why we are getting only 6? Okay. Yeah, now it's good. Okay. See what we are getting. If you will observe carefully, we are getting only the key. We are getting only the keys are here, right? We are using for loop to print the particular dictionary and only keys are there, right? See 12, 1, C, 0, a tuple and a particular string post, right? We have these here. Now there are different techniques to iterate from a list, right? Sorry, a dictionary. For example, suppose if you will use dot items with your dictionary. Now this time what it will do? It will print all the particular key value pair in your dictionary. All key value pairs are printed here. All key value pairs are printed here, right? Okay. Now other than this we have dot values. In this case only values are printed here. Only the, okay, let me first print the dictionary here again so it will be easy to compare. Yeah. Okay, so see this is our dictionary, right? And these are the values, a particular values of our dictionary, right? Okay, so other than this we have one more option, that we will dot keys, right? What this will do, it will print all the keys of your dictionary, all the keys of your dictionary. So there is no difference between this for loop and this particular one, this for loop, right? This also prints each and every key in your dictionary. Okay, now we have seen that how to operate a for loop with your dictionary, right? Now let's move towards the different methods in the dictionary, right? We have multiple methods. Okay, the first one will be, let's say there is a clear, okay, copy is always there, right? Other than that we have update. Other than that we have an we have pop. No, pop is not there, and we will see why. There are other than pops, and check we have added here. We have seen copying. Yeah, del. Okay, let's first check out these, then we will discuss about some more. Let's take this dictionary only. Okay, first of pop. So my dictionary dot pop. Let's see how this will work. So in this case we are getting an error, right? Why? So while using pop with the list, we got to know that pop will delete the last element, right? While using pop with a set, we got to know that pop will delete the first element, right? But in dictionary, pop does not delete the first element. Pop deletes the last element. Okay, guys, just let me know if I'm audible, because there is a power cut in my area. I think I lost my network. Mm. Okay, see, so we have seen that dictionary does not support indexing, right? And there is one more thing about this particular hash table is that you cannot say that this is your first element and this one is your last element, right? So this is the property of a hash table. You cannot say which element is your first element and which element is your last element. Okay. So if the pop does not know which is your last element, how does it will delete that, right? So in dictionary, there is no pop. Yes, you can use pop, but you have to pass a particular key value to delete, right? If I will pass C, see this particular C, you will observe that that C value pair will be deleted. The whole pair will be deleted, not a particular only the key. See that C value pair is deleted here, right? So pop will only work if you will pass a key, right? Okay. Now other we have update. So how this update will work? You have to pass a dictionary inside this. See, if I have my dictionary 2 as elements like sorry, 1 is assigned to 2, 3 is assigned to 400, and we have a key as 6 which will be assigned a value assigned to 500, right? And if I want to try to do concatenation, right, my my dictionary plus my dictionary 2, see what we will get. Yeah, let me print my dictionary. Yeah, so see, this is the value we are getting. Instead of, let me pass the plus. Okay, now in this case you cannot perform a concatenation on a dictionary, right? Okay, just note this down. You cannot perform concatenation on a dictionary. Now why we cannot perform concatenation? We have seen that keys are immutable, keys should be unique, right? By unique, what I mean that, see, the 12 is a key, but I have not created any other 12 as a key. If you will create another 12 as a key and you have provided 300 as its value, right? If I will run this, see, this 12, instead of A, 300 is assigned to its value, right? So there is only one unique key should exist inside the dictionary, right? So suppose if you are trying to perform concatenation between two dictionaries and there exist two similar keys, right? Two identical keys, then Python is not capable of handling these keys by itself, right? Dictionary is not capable of handling these keys by itself. So instead of that, if you want to perform concatenation, we use dot update, and inside this we pass the second dictionary which we want to concatenate add, right? See, in this case it is good to go, no problem with that, right? Now observe very carefully, inside our dictionary we have a key 12 assigned with the value as string a, right? But inside our new upcoming dictionary, the key 12 is assigned with an integer value 2, right? Now observe the output, the updated value is there, right? So dot update will handle these types of classes, and the final key pair value is always the new updated values are there, right? If you want to insert any particular values, right? If you want to insert any particular value in a dictionary, you can perform like this dot update, and inside curly braces pass the key colon the particular value, and it will insert that key value pair at the end. Okay, you cannot say that this is the end of your dictionary because it uses hash table, right? So there is no end and there is no start, right? Okay, yeah. There is no sort function for your dictionary. You cannot use an inbuilt dot sort function like this in your dictionary, because there are, you can say that there are many values for which value you will sort your dictionary. For the keys, you can sort your dictionary for keys, but there are keys of tuple, a key of an integer. How you can compare a key of tuple and an integer? So there are various reasons for what sort is not implemented in dictionary. You cannot use inbuilt sort, right? Okay. What are the remaining? We have seen copyright. Copy is same here, no changes. Delete and clear. Okay. Now suppose I have an example of delete somewhere. Yeah. See guys, here the pop is using a particular key to remove that element. See, key to remove that element, right? And this is how to use a delete, right? Suppose, for example, what is that? Yeah. If I want to delete this particular key value pair, or I want to delete this particular key value pair, there are two options. Either I will use pop, or what I will do, I will use delete. Just carefully observe the syntax of delete. Del my dictionary, inside that I have to pass the key, right? And after that, if I will print my dictionary, see what we will get. This particular key value pair is deleted, right? This particular key value pair is deleted. So this is how you will use delete. The same thing you can achieve by using pop also. Okay, there are no differences. Yes, there are the difference of working how delete and pop works, but the at the end result there are no difference, right? Okay. Other than that, we have discussed about how the importance of keys and values. See, I have told you that length is defined for every type of iterables. So if you want to get the length of a dictionary, see we have a fruit dictionary here with the different values. If you want to get the length of this dictionary, just use length. Okay, you will get the length as value 3, right? Okay. Dot clear is same as your particular dot clear in lists, right? It will delete all the elements of the list. Clear. And if now I will try to press empty, right? See, we have an empty dictionary. Each and every values were deleted. Just give me a second, guys. Yeah. Okay. So this is how dictionary works. Now let's work with dictionary, tuples, and list all together, right? So suppose we have a list with my keys, right? This is a list of all the keys, right? And we have a tuple which is associated with all the values. How many we have? 500, and after that we have 600. So these are the keys and these are the values. I want to uh, create a dictionary from these keys and values, right? So how we will achieve that? For I in range, anyone, take anyone. See, the length of both key and value are same, right? So take the length of anyone. I will take my key, right? So first of all, let's create a dictionary, my dictionary, an empty dictionary, because the values key and value pair are there, right? So what we will do, my dictionary dot update. Inside this, what we will use, first of all, what is key? So my key at index I, and we have a value at my value at index I. Okay, and let me print this dictionary. See, now we have a dictionary of key value pair. Keys are taken from a list and values are taken from the tuple. Okay, now guys, see, there is a scope of error, right? Suppose what happen if the size of my list, my tuple is small, right? I have only keys, only values available for 4 keys. Okay, so I cannot create a particular dictionary for an empty key, right? So in such scenarios, instead of using this type of brute force approach, this type of approach of using length and all these, we will use key value zip. We will use one more data type that is known as zip, right? Now let me tell you the difference between zip, how it will work. It is, see, what is the work of this zip? So what this zip will do, it will pack all the keys and all the values accordingly. See what, wait guys, let me print this zip as a, see, okay guys, let me show you. So what is this particular thing? I think I have told you in the first class, in the first session, that this is this. all the memory in your RAM, all those memory address are represented in a hexadecimal format, right? So this is the memory address of your particular this variable key value zip. It is a memory address of your variable key value zip. If you want to see that particular variable, you have to convert that variable to a list, right? Now if I will run this, see, we have the values. And if you will observe that it is the, I mean, zip, this is how zip will handle things. It will only convert the first four elements with all your tuples. These two key values were left, right? So this is the work of zip, right? Zip will handle these things. Yeah. Now what we have that now we don't have to worry about the size of the list or the key values pair. Suppose if I have only two keys, right? But there are four values, then again zip will handle that. Okay, it will zip, it will combine the values, right, such that for each key there exists a value, right? Okay, now what we have to do, yeah, we just have to convert this particular values in a dictionary, right? How to do that? See, you cannot, I mean, if you want to perform it like this, okay, and let me comment out these are providing errors. See what we will get. We will get the key value pair. That's it. This is what we want to achieve, right? But now let's see a unique way to access a for loop. Okay, first of all, create my dictionary and empty dictionary. A new way to access a for loop. I've told you that inside a for loop, the syntax we have, yeah, inside this syntax we only use variables, right? So the number of these variables are not, you can say that, not fixed. You can use multiple variables there, right? So see what we have inside this for. Let's use k and v, two variables. In, where is our list? Our list is in key value zip. Now what this k will do, this k will pick or iterate through only the first value, these values, right? Okay, let me print that. That one is not visible. Yeah, here we have. Okay, so what that k will do, that k will only pick the first value of each pair, right? It will pick this one, this two, this three, and this four. What this v will do, this v will pick the second value of each pair, right? 100, 200, 300, and 400. Now just use the simple update, my dictionary dot update. Inside these values, pass key value as a pair, and it will help you to achieve the same functionality, the same output as just converting the the zip variable to a raw dictionary, right? So see, carefully observe this, right? We are using pairs. In this case, we are using two variables, a pair, and what we are receiving a pair again, right? So this k will be assigned to this, sorry, this one will be assigned to this k, this 100 will be assigned to this v, right? You can say this, that this is one of the you can say that an easy way to access things in Python, right? Now see, we have, suppose I have a comma b comma c, right? These are our variables, and if I have provide the values like this, and if I will print, the values of A, the value of B, and the value of C, we will get 1 to 3. So this is how the comma operator works in Python, right? A, B, C, and this is also known as unpacking. Suppose this is nothing but suppose if we have a tuple, right? Suppose consider this as a tuple. We will assign each and every single value of that tuple like this. This is one of the way, right? A tuple. Okay, not a very you can say not a very big thing to go deep into, but this is one of the way, right? So similarly, we are using the same thing. What is this particular one, right? What is this particular pair? You can observe that these particular pairs are tuples. 3 and 300 form a tuple, 4 and 400 forms a tuple, right? So how does this zip works? What it will do, it will create a tuple of value 1 and value 2, right? So on, and it will create a tuple, something more tuples like similar one. And what it will do, it will insert all those tuple inside a list. See, we are inserting all those tuples inside a list, right? So this is how this zip works. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to unpack this list, sorry, this tuple using comma operator, k comma v. That's it, nothing else, right? And inside this dictionary, we are trying to insert those elements. Okay, okay, guys. So yeah, those print statement, right? Okay, if you have any doubts till now or anything, just let me know. Okay, right now let's talk about something about formatting. Suppose if I want to print /n world, right? See, these types of /n, these are known as escape characters. Escape characters. There are special meanings of this escape character. See, there is no /n is printed here, right? /n is a reserved keyword, a reserved, you can say, that escape character. The special meaning of that character is to change the line, right? Similar to /n, we have multiple escape sequences like /r, we have /a, we have /t, right? Let me show you one. Sorry, let me show you one more. That is the /t. These are the two escape sequences you will work with, right? See, /t is used to provide a tab, a space of 4, right? 4 spaces, and /n is always used to change the line. Okay. Now, what happens if there is a requirement, right? There is a particular requirement to print these characters. How you will print these characters? Okay. So there is a way. Suppose I want to print hello /3 /by2. I want to print this. Okay, right? See what we will get, instead of /2, I got a question mark here, right? But I want to print that particular value, that particular character. So these type of characters where you are using some special character, your print statement is ignoring that special character, use R. Now what does this R will signify? If I will use R here, see, there is no line change and the /n is also printed here, right? So the meaning of this R is your string is treated as a raw string. Okay, there are types of string, raw string, and what, sorry, not here, yeah, a raw string. And what is the meaning of this raw string? That no character is treated as a special character or as a special meaning by Python. It will be printed as it is by Python. You can use any type of special character inside that, and each and every character will be printed as it is, right? But if you will remove R, you might get some characters, you may not get some characters, right? Because that string as is treated for formatting. Okay. But if you want to print as it is without any changes, use R. Your string will be treated as a raw string. Okay. Now there is one known as formatted string. Suppose I want to print a string that value of a is, and I want to print the value of that particular a or any variable. Suppose the value of my list is, pass your variable in curly braces and starting of your string write f. This f will signify it is a, tells Python that it is a formatted string, right? See, you will get the values and the string is printed here, right? Now we have seen that suppose we have a as, let's take it as 9, and not 9, let's take it as 3, and we have b as, sorry, 10, and we have b as 3, right? If I will try to print, see the use case of this formatted string, I want to print that uh, division of a by b will give, right? Inside this, let's pass a divided by b, right? See what we will get. This is a very, you can say that this is a very long for loop, sorry, float, right? This is a very long float. There's no need to these many threes, right? It will be okay if it will print only up to two decimal points. For those, inside your curly braces where you are printing your float, put a colon, put decimal and 2. Now what it will do, it will format that to a single decimal, right? You can also make it to 3, and it will provide you two decimal formats, right? And if you are storing this a divided by b in some different variable, suppose in variable c, then you will get this answer, right? So this is how you can format a float. You can format your strings to look more informative. This is how, there is a raw string also in Python, right? Okay. Yeah, these are escape sequences. There, I think there is no case where you will use forward slash a or forward slash r, right? Slash n and slash t are always used, right? Okay. Okay, guys. So that's it for today. I think there are no questions. So let's close the session then. Let's save this one. I will share the notes with you guys. Okay.